All right, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. I'm going to be making this one pretty quick. We're just going to go over the TA and we can get all of us on our way. All right, so we do have QQQ currently filling the gap. Let's see, did we fill it? Did we get that touch? Yes, maybe we did, maybe we didn't. We did not fill it again, guys. Shorts are running for the door. All right, or not shorts are running for the door. Longs are running for the door, and shorts are piling on. This is, in my opinion, this is a valid short entry. All right, so and by the way, not only is the gap fill giving it some validity to its entry, but we also have this. Look at this, that triple bearish divergence going on the 3-minute time frame, going into that gap fill. All right, that is pretty sexy. All right, so congrats if anybody is taking that setup. I would agree. All right, so we do have SPY up with VIX up, which gives it an 85% probability that we will see SPY having a down day within the next 2 trading sessions. Now, me personally, I already do expect us to be selling off this week. I personally think we're going to sell off going into the November 2nd meeting. That is just my opinion. All right, or we could rally going into it, and then that could act as a bearish catalyst and sell us off. But I think it's more likely that we sell off before it, come down and maybe test these lows. I don't know. Maybe we don't end up getting there because we are, what is this, like $30 above them? $25 above them. So, I mean, it's a sharp drop. But, I mean, I do want to point out that Friday we did have people buying puts and selling calls on the rally we were seeing going into the end of the day for about 3 hours. And then also we have the same exact thing happening right now. Why is VIX up so much when SPY is up so much? And as you guys do see, VIX did end up breaking out from this consolidation pattern that we had going on here on the 4-hour time frame. All right. But let's jump right into the TA. We're going to start it off with the daily time frame. And I do want to point out, you do have your 2-year now also having a bullish day today. And I do want to point out that if you do close where you are right now, you do have a bullish Harami setup, and that can lead to having further bullish price action, which if you see this thing rallying back to highs, yeah, you should expect the markets to continue selling off. We're doing the opposite. So today, in my personal opinion, we come over here. Is the bond market calling BS on the rally again? Yes, it is calling BS on the rally. We're going to have to see what happens. All right, we will see what happens. Let's go back over there. All right, so QQQ. All right, you have your oscillators reaching extremes to the upside here. You have your RSI just breaking over 50. I told you guys I'm watching for 55 just to see if the bulls can just really carry you over there. But all in all, I think honestly, guys, we can stay up here in this overbought territory for quite some time. I don't think we are going to. I think I already told you guys like a minute ago, I think we're going to be falling into the November 2nd meeting. And that is just an opinion of mine. But I do think there is a solid shot that you do have, not a pivot, but I do think there's a solid shot that the Fed, Jerome, they just want to ease everyone, and they have their Fed speak that is going to end up giving this short squeeze some more rocket fuel behind it, a reason for it to rally. All right. Now, that doesn't have to be the case. All right. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if it does, because again, the end of the world is the bull case. I outlined in yesterday's video that I personally believe I've been looking at this wrong. But at the same time, no, it's like either everything dies and holy crap, we do have a collapse of the financial systems, like I've been saying, or hey, yeah, I have been looking at this wrong, and hey, the end of the world is the bull case. They have to get one last hurrah before they end up having honestly, having the whole thing collapse. Once it goes, it's going to all go kapooey, and that would be that. All right, so I mean, we do have a massive market crash on the horizon, or you have one massive short squeeze on the horizon. It's one or the other. But yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, guys, the past few weeks I've been pointing out how things have been breaking. They have literally been breaking in the financial system. The BFV has demonstrated that they had to do what they needed to do, or their system would have collapsed over there. I'm just saying, guys, all right, like, it really is the bull case. The end of the world is the bull case. The end of the financial system is the bull case. So I don't know what they're going to be doing, but they can't physically Volcker things. All right. And that is the realization that I've had recently. They can't do what I have been expecting them to do. They can't, which like they kind of are being forced to head in that direction, but at the same time, I think they can slow it down. So I think that's what they're going to end up doing. All right. And that would align with us rallying out of FOMC, which means we would need a drop going into FOMC because we cannot have an all-out short squeeze from where we are right now. It wouldn't last long. It would only be it would last for like 1 to 2 weeks and then we'd fizzle out. Whereas if you allow these oscillators to come back down here, yeah, you got like, you could rally for quite some time. All right. How much time went from back over here? That was on the 16th all the way until we went over here. That was on, yeah, so that was a month-long rally. If you want a month-long rally, you are going to need your oscillators to come back down into the oversold territory. They don't have to reach all the way down there, but just like we have reset the oscillators to the upside, I am expecting to reset them to the downside. And that would align with Mr. VIX. Do you see what Mr. VIX is doing over here? Mr. VIX is having a cross, and I've pointed out how the stochastic on Mr. VIX on the daily and weekly time frame, they typically don't give us fake outs. All right, and something is happening on the weekly time frames that I want to point out that aligns with what I said in my weekly report. All right, so we're gonna also be going over that real quick. But yeah, on the just like you have your daily oscillators and SPY and QQQ over in the overbought territory, you now have SPY in the oversold territory. You do have Mr. VIX showing some strength right around that 50 mark, which I mean, I mentioned in yesterday's video that, I mean, your RSI really is never going to work how the indices do because this is literally an oscillator of volatility. And yeah, I mean, it just can't physically work that way. So we don't typically see VIX actually come down here. So I guess we can completely ignore the RSI for Mr. VIX. But yeah, nevertheless, you do have your oscillators down here at oversold and crossing up on your stochastic and hinging up in your CCI. Whereas you have the opposite picture over here on QQ and SPY. Now, I will say your momentum is still just flying high in the sky. You're going straight up on your CCI. All right. Obviously, you look like you got more room to go. But again, you have your VIX up with your SPY up, which, I mean, what is the only thing that tells you? Well, people are buying puts right now and they're selling calls into this massive rally as we have a gap fill. Did we actually fill the gap? Did we do it? I don't know if we did, but holy crap, did we really come 1 cent of filling it? Oh, okay, yeah. We came 3 cents of filling it. Wow, that sucks. I personally I don't think it's going to stay unfilled. I think the magic market hand is going to push this guy up, and we are going to end up filling that. But as you see, I mean, this move is not being supported. Someone wants this to happen, guys, and that's what I'm getting at. The dealers are most likely they're letting everyone play right into their hand. And I mean, not everyone, not us, but there's that. All right, so moving on, let's and we'll look at the weekly chart after we get done with the normal analysis that we cover here on the channel. Like I said, I in the weekly update, I said that I was looking for QQ and SPY to form a bearish divergence on the 4-hour time frame. That is exactly what we have. We have that bad boy right there. We have this right there. All right, and then we come over to SPY. SPY is the same exact thing. Do you have anything? 185 over here. You're 189. Yes, you also have the bearish divergence going on right here over on SPY. Got that right there. And again, I mean, your oscillators are at extremes to the upside, whereas VIX, you come over here, oscillators are not at extremes to the upside. They're down in the oversold part of the oscillators, which gives these room to run to the upside and these room to fall to the downside. All right, now coming over to the hourly time frame, I did point out that we had the hourly bullish divergence here on VIX that did end up playing out. So there's nothing really to see on here on the hourly time frame for VIX, but what is going on here over at QQQ? We do have a bearish divergence here that has formed, and as I also said with the daily oscillators, I'm expecting these to cycle back downward, and I'm gonna have to be watching, see what happens then. What is forming there? All right. If we just continuously sell off without forming any bullish divergence here on the hourly time frame here, this can end up turning into a larger sell-off, but we also could very likely just get something like this, all right, where we fall $10 and then we bring back up. That has happened twice now, and I'm not one to doubt the trend. All right, so I don't know what is going to be the case because, again, I don't have that crystal ball, but I will be here keeping you guys up to date each and every day. And that is that. And I mean, hey guys, if you guys were tuned for the weekly update, if you guys were here for the weekly update, this price action did not surprise you. All right, it did not. Oh, what I will say, all right, what I will say is, I did not think we were going to be rallying this high, but I mean, it does make perfect sense. All right, it makes perfect sense because we are coming up here and filling that gap, which I really hope that gap is filled and we don't leave it open by 3 cents. That would suck because then it's still just here acting as a price magnet, and that is not good. All right, you do not want an open price magnet to the upside when you want things to go back down. Well, actually, you know what? I mean, that can be good. But if you want an explosion, you wanna pretty much take that out right now. You want to come back down. You want to make your higher high and then, or your higher low. Then you want to come back and you want to have no resistance here. Whereas if you left the gap open, or if the dealers leave the gap open, there's going to be resistance here. All right. So, personally, that is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for QQ to close that gap by the end of the day. And then I honestly do believe a sell-off is going to end up starting. We do have the divergences that formed, or that I mentioned in yesterday's update, as well as the Weeble update. They form. They're here, and now it is just a waiting game. All right, we just have to wait. I do think VIX is going to have one last hurrah here. I don't think it's going to be anything massive, but I still think VIX is going to have a another explosion, such as we saw here. And percent wise, 20% explosion. I have no targets for Mr. VIX. I don't really know what's going to be happening, but I already expressed my thoughts for that. I don't think this is going to be a massive explosion on VIX that it comes right now. I don't think it makes sense, but what I will say is, yeah, you still look like you have a solid setup for another leg such as this, or maybe it's even something stronger. Notice how when you had this 20% move here, you were all the way up here on Mr. VIX's CCI. Well, what happens when you have her starting from down here? Down here, and then you go all the way up there. All right. Well, that's a bigger move right there. Okay. If you had a 45% move from where you are right now, it would be a very, yeah, and actually, yeah, I mean, maybe it will happen. I don't know. I have no idea. I personally don't think we're going to see a massive spike on VIX. But yeah, I still expect a spike. All right, guys. So I think that is pretty much it. What I said I want to touch up on the weekly time frame is that we have this going on. Earlier in the day when we were selling off this morning, this was actually way more apparent, but you do have your stochastic starting to hinge downward here. It was hinging over here on the CCI. Oh, it is on QQQs. And then you also have that there. And then what do we have over on Mr. VIX? You have your stochastic hinging up, your CCI hinging up. That is, guys, that is a good sign for your boy's projection that he gave out on the weekly report yesterday, which was that I expect us to come back down before heading back up. I expect us to come back down, and I expect this to have another point of divergence on it. And it does look like that is going to be the case. I have no crystal ball, but I mean, just saying, it's there. I will keep you guys updated. But so far, yeah, this is still looking like this is going to be the case. And either way, I mean, guys, I'm just saying, you can't really rally on too much further from here. You have a few more days max before you get into deeply overbought levels. And yeah, you can keep grinding up. We saw it over here. You can keep grinding up, but we're not in a scenario like that yet. All right. If you want that powerful explosion, if you want it to have that follow through, you're going to need to come down. You're going to need to form some kind of base here. You need something to move off of. This is just like a straight shot up. Not forming much support. All right. And I am waiting to have something like that is what I'm waiting on. All right. I don't know if that's the exact picture I get. I outlined like the possibilities here, but either way, I expect you to come somewhere near these lows before launching up and having your short squeeze. All right. If not, you're going to break those lows and make that lower low, and that is going to cause another point of divergence here, as long as you don't get all the way up there. It's too late. But yeah. All right. With that being said, guys, I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.